We're standing on Cemetery Ridge, the main Union battle line for the second and third day of the Battle of Gettysburg. Here in the center of the Union line, we are standing amidst the monuments to regiments in General Winfield Scott Hancock's 2nd Corps. There were those who said that the 2nd Corps was filled with more democratic spirit than any other corps in the Army of the Potomac. And this monument behind us kind of reflects that notion. It's a rather unusual monument for Gettysburg battlefield. An awful lot of visitors come up here, take a look at it, and ask the natural question, where did the Indians fight here at Gettysburg? It's a natural question, but the answer, of course, is far more complicated than that. This is the monument to the 42nd New York Infantry. It was raised in New York City. Within the Democratic Party in New York City, there were several major factions. One was called the Tammany Hall faction. One was called the Mozart faction. Both factions decided that they wanted to demonstrate their support for the Union by raising regiments under their auspices. The 40th New York Infantry that fought down near Devil's Den was better known as the Mozart Regiment. The 42nd New York here became best known as the Tammany Regiment. The main figure on this monument, the statue of the Indian chief, represents Chief Tammany, a chieftain of the Delaware tribe. He was well known for being both a warrior and a diplomat, and he became the symbol of the Tammany Hall Democratic faction in New York City. This was the symbol of the Tammany Hall faction. When the regiment was raised back in 1861, many of its members were raised from Democratic Party strongholds within the city, included a great number of recent Irish immigrants who had just obtained their citizenship. The 42nd New York, on the 3rd day of July, would participate in the repulse of Pickett's charge. It rushed toward the famous clump of trees that we can see just over my right shoulder here, and helped to push back Pickett's Virginians as they broke into the angle. In the process, they lost at least 15 of their men killed. One of them was their color sergeant. His name was Michael Cuddy. He was an Irish immigrant, and after the battle was over, his colonel, Colonel James Mallon, saluted him officially in his official report. About Sergeant Cuddy, he said, "He waved his flag in the face of the enemy not 10 yards distant, that flag he loved so well, of which he was so proud, and for which his precious life, without a murmur, was freely given up." Abraham Lincoln was always pleased when a regiment with such strong Democratic Party connections pledged their faith and trust in the Union. In fact, he is supposed to have said to one of the Democratic organizers of this regiment, "I felt that when men break through party lines and take this patriotic stand for the government and the Union, all must come out well in the end." As one observer at the dedication of this monument said, this monument was American from head to toe, in its proportions, in its themes, and in its gallantry. It represented the best that the nation had to offer.